answer. Because you are that, you are capable. You are gifted and you are so unique. All of the things that you may hate about yourself are your strengths. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to be opinionated. It's okay to be different. And it's so okay to just be. The world awaits to receive you.
Every election. So now, because they can't beat me, they got to do this smear campaign to convince public opinion that I'm bad for them.
So you said 2 elections. You were first elected in 2021?
No, 2013 was my first election for trustee. I was a trustee. I sat where they are.
Right.
That's why I know the law.
Council.
Yes.
Elected mayor 2021.
Yes.
Term is 4 years?
Yes.
Okay. Plans of running for re-election?
I'm running for both my seats. And I'm going to win them.
So, and when is the election for Thornton Township?
2025.
So those elections at the same time?
They are.
Bullshit. Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
With your broke asses. That's my favorite part at this point. Let me get myself on the screen, y'all. Blessings, blessings. Welcome to Uncensored Enlightenment Talk. Please bear with me. I am out of the studio. So, blessings on this Sabbath. It's early. As y'all know, usually I try not to stream on the Sabbath, but I couldn't wait to Tuesday because I saw this interview and it did come to my attention that Miss Belcher have done an interview on a platform that's called the Mack Morning Show. So I was watching it and I was like, well, since I'm sitting here and I can't go back to sleep, even though I got to work tonight, let me burn some energy and just watch this video with you guys. And we're going to give our raw commentary. There, even in the beginning, I was just like, oh my God. I like the questions that he actually started to ask, but what got on my nerves, I'm going to be honest, y'all. I'm going to be honest. Y'all know how GraceLevi is. I don't like that blindness, that spiritual blindness. And I'm not saying anything in regards to Kiana Belcher, but this is for everyone. You just don't go with people because you like them, because somebody made a punchline. It's okay to ask those difficult questions. And the reason why I said that is because someone in his comment was like, and it was like, oh my God, let me just go. What did they say? He said, there's a few comments. One said, it says, I have great respect for Kiana Belcher. She cares about her community and finances, and I do agree with that. Please bear with me if I have some lagging because I am on hotel Wi-Fi. All right. It says, Belcher is my favorite trustee. I love her. She's always putting Tiffany in her place, and I have the utmost respect for her. Keep doing what you're doing. Now, we're reading off of his comments, so I will put the fair use up there because I know he had an exclusive interview, and I don't want to take anything away, but we can get these candidates, and if I see it, hold on, boo. I'd have put that fair use up there. Why am I fair use? Okay, it's popping up, but I can't see it on my screen. All right, I hope it's not lagging. Hold on. Okay, so I just wanted to put that up. Shout out to him. It was one comment, and it got on my nerves. It did. It did. Just a heads up. This wasn't the one that got on my nerves, but I just happened to see this. It says, just a heads up, no Belcher slander will be tolerated on this interview. From Florida, I love me some Kiana Belcher. It is not about slander, even when it comes to any political figure. It's about having freedom of speech. It's about you being able to ask those difficult questions. And that's what I like to do. And I like some of the questions that he was asking. Someone said something in the comment like, why is he asking her these type of questions? It says, Brother Lee, This was what she said. Brother Lee, what's up with these questions? Trustee Belcher is definitely for the residents of Dolton, period. I hope she wins re-election. No disrespect to you, sis. You need to stop. Okay? This is raw and uncut. GraceLevi, we are adults. We are supposed to ask those difficult questions. So we're going to get to the actual interview because he did ask her. One of the first questions is, how the hell did y'all let it get out of hand like this? Okay. And I guess that triggered people. We have to stop being emotionally liable adults and actually get to the nitty gritty. That's why we're in a political situation that we're in. We don't know where our money going. We don't trust our candidates once we get them in because we never knew their wholehearted ballpark plan. All we did was fall in love with the image or a slogan or a team. We got to cut it out. All right, y'all. So if y'all have comments, and I'm not telling you to be disrespectful. I'm not telling you to slander anyone, but y'all know what we do here on all of my videos, even when we put the other political videos that have to do with the president, has to do with the election, freedom of speech. Just give people respect, okay? Just got a heads up on that one. I was like, bump it. Let me just go live and let's watch this together, family, on this beautiful Sabbath. So shout out to the Mac Man Morning Show. And also shout out to all the candidates that's actually putting your bid in because this is not easy. So I have to give that to them. This is not an easy position to be in. And to deal with people like me who want to ask those questions is definitely not an easy position to be in. So I really respect what y'all doing. Stand up if you're really for the people. But if you're not, you're going to be exposed. You know what I'm saying? If there's Tiffany's out there's a lot of them, you're going to be exposed. So let's try to figure out who people are before they get into these positions. So let's watch this interview and put your comments at the bottom.
What happened and what gave you that reaction? Now, I'm just going to stay on there, but I want to hear what you have to say. Come
on. Well, things that's going on in the community, the village of Dolton, people would see that the trustees have been fighting for transparency and accountability for the last 3.5 years. So an agenda item was placed on our agenda for the meeting, and it had no meat to it. It just said that, she wanted to buy these properties. It didn't have any price on it or anything. And it was just a reaction of, girl, we don't trust you to buy penny candy. You think we about to allow you to buy some properties? It's too much stuff going on, too much inconsistency, indictments, federal subpoenas, and the village is just not in the real estate business. So it wasn't anything that was thought of or anything. I'm just like, whatever the lowest thing is, we don't trust you to do it. And penny candy was on my mind.
Lord, I tell you, those of you all that don't know nothing about penny candy, it's a Chicago thing. Y'all, I be rad. They be talking about me because I used to go to the corner store and get my penny. I hollered when you said that. And it's just one of those interesting things. Trustee, you all have a lot of challenges. I won't say problems because it seems like you and your fellow board members are going in the right direction. Could you just fill us in on, first of all, the first question that people really ask is that you and several other trustees endorsed the mayor in her runnings and everything. What happened with that relationship that has begun this clock to tick on her political life and career?
Yes, we did endorse her as a trustee. I would just say for myself, as a citizen at the time, and she was a trustee, she was advocating for the community. And what we seen is the same thing as her asking the mayor for documentation, asking the mayor for accountability and transparency. They even put in the ordinance of a transparency ordinance of all the things that, the trustees are entitled to. So for her to get in the position and act like everything that you did now it doesn't apply because you're the mayor is not acceptable. So there was a time we started off when we ran. It was COVID. 2020 was when we started. The election was 2021. And we thought that we had a viable team to move the village forward. Young, we know that she had the support of the people that had background that could help. And when she got in office,
listen, y'all heard what she said. We knew she had the support. Some people that are in prominent positions, because we are all wondering why she's not in jail yet. But let's keep listening. You know, we'll pull out some of the key things, like some things that may kind of brush over. But one thing I do want to say, she mentioned that Tiffany basically had this persona like she was for the people's trustee. But when you listen to her commentary at these meetings, it was troublesome. It was alarming to me. The people who sat next to her, like Belcher, should have heard some of the discrepancies in the shit she was saying. Now, I'm not saying everybody's perfect, because I mispronounce things, all types of stuff. But the things she was saying was so wrong, grossly wrong on some occasions. And then she was belligerent about that. That was some of the key indicators that I would have been like, I don't give a damn who she batting for. She a little off. But we're going to keep listening, because allegedly Tiffany was the actual people's trustee. Big old mouth. Helium ass head. Excuse me. It's on the Sabbath. Helium head full of hot air. I ain't going to curse. Let me stop. Girl.
changed.
Well, Trustee Goodberger and all the things she was doing, 8 years on the board of trustees and so forth. She said she was a business owner. I'm not some basic things like a budget that most businesses operate under.
You got to take in consideration, they saw Tiffany going through these trials and errors with her business. Y'all remember Goodberger? Y'all remember she had these real estate companies, real estate company, but that Goodberger, just the whole presentation of it was trash. It was ridiculous. It was out of control. I would have been looking at her like, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm just being honest. Let's keep going.
Am I right or wrong, Trustee? I mean, you have a budget and you got to follow that budget. If not, you go into deficit spending money that you don't have. Now, I'm not a arithmetic person or a person, arithmetic, ain't that something? Mathematical genius, I'll put it that way. But I have a question that how did she get the opportunity to spend and this kind of money and put you all in deficit? And it seemed like nobody else, nobody knew but her what she was doing. Where were the checks and balances before it got out of hand like this, Trustee?
So I'll say the stereotypical way is that most of the time when a mayor asks a vendor, contractor for services, the proper way is a RFP comes in front of the board and then is voted on and moved forward. If you have somebody just like, I'm the mayor, I'm gonna do what I want to do and enter into all these agreements and it doesn't come in front of the board, then when we see it, it's after the services have been rendered and now these people want payment. And it doesn't work like that. So all of these invoices start coming in, all the services, and of course,
somebody in the comments said, I'm sure they all knew. They just caught me, but I'm listening. I understand how this can happen, especially when the broad is just like, yo, need a contract? Yo, go cut the grass. Send me an invoice. That was Tiffany.
Of course, we like, this is not budgeted for. Where did this come from? And when it starts adding up, it can put you in a deficit very quickly. I'll give you an example. One month, we had about $700,000 worth of tree cutting. And the budget was like $300,000, 350.
But y'all you must have chopped every tree down in Dolton for that kind of dough, ain't it? I mean, y'all got enough firewood for America.
Yeah, so those are the type of things. And one of the vendors who was very upset with us because we started pulling items off like, no, this is not valid. Do you have a contract? He said, well, I seen the mayor riding down the street and she asked me to give her a estimate of trimming and cutting down the trees in the village, the entire village. I gave her a $2.8 million estimate. And we're looking like, no, it don't work like that. Well, she's the mayor. Yeah, she's the mayor, but there's checks and balances. So unfortunately for us, we were not privy to anything until it came in front of us to vote on. So she just was, feeling like she's the mayor so she can enter into these agreements knowing that that was not the proper way.
Now, I know that there's, people say various things. I know several politicians and people that are in political life that works behind the scenes and work in administrations. And most municipalities, and both of us know, Chicago, how crooked old man Mayor Daley was. We knew that he did these things, and probably other mayors too, other than the late great Harold Washington, which I believe he was never a crook. Thank you for his spirit. And I miss that kind of politician that takes care of its people. But there's been a history, if I'm wrong, help me out, of some kind of shenanigans that may have been going on before she became mayor. Even the ties that she has with township officials. Before we get to that, I know that we won't even talk about that right now because you're a Village of Dolton official, and I know that you can't commingle. That's another thing you were saying. The mayor was commingling the money also. Now, out of all these problems that have happened and all these things that have occurred, at our first break mark, you can get you some coffee or some things that you might need to say, this James is doing good, and then tell all of your friends and family to like and subscribe to the man in Mississippi that has great Chicago roots. Y'all root for us here. This is the Mack Man Morning Show. I'm James Mack, your host. I am here with our wonderful, illustrious guest, the trustee, Her Honor, the Honorable trustee of the Village of Dolton, Kiana Belcher, is here with us, and she's going to stick around. We got her here. Everybody in the chat, please. I'm
going to see, can I fast forward a little bit? He's talking about get some coffee.
Like and subscribe to our channel. We got good people that we have coming on here. And if Ms. Belcher is here, we got to be doing something right. Ain't that right? Well, we won't get an endorsement right now, but at this time, we're going to go and do pay a couple of bills. You're listening to the Mack Man Morning Show. Thank y'all for listening, and we will be right back.
America, we are not going.
Just trying not to do too much on this laptop, so just bear with me. I'm fast forwarding. But if you did not see, we did a weekly wrap up, and I think we're going to be doing a week. We touched on the Tiffany Henyard situation, everything she did for the last 2 weeks, and then we went into some very important for the whole United States, especially when it comes to the election. We got crooked, I'm gonna say crooked ass Fulton County involved in something else, and it has to do with our elections. And I'm just gonna tell you this. I'm working a case, and the nurse came in to give me a report, and we just start talking. And come to find out, she was like, I have a busy week this week because I'm basically, and I hope I'm not muted too. Okay. Basically, she's working the polls. Okay. Let's see if it's about to come on. She's working the polls, and she worked the polls in Fulton County last year. And she said she got home at 10 o'clock. When she got home, they were still counting. She said about 10 minutes later, she came out the shower and they said that Fulton County was going to stop counting. And she was like, what the hell? And she works there, works for the poll. She's a volunteer. And she said, they said that they were going to recount and start the count in the morning. And that was something that I noticed. I was like, yo, they something not right in Georgia, but then other states as well. They came in on a good foot, like, hey, we had a bunch of mail-in ballots. So hold on one second. She's about to get through. We have a bunch of mail-in ballots, and you'll see you sort of flip. You saw red states flip to blue states, things like that. So the lady said basically that she, as working on the polls in Fulton County, know or believe they took Georgia election. They at least took Fulton County, because it was not tally right. We were talking, it was so crazy because I was like, God, I just did a broadcast on the Fulton County, the board meeting where they were trying to get the check and balance systems together, just to go off topic a little bit. And remember, and I was saying something to nature that it won't be hard to implement this because all you need is 3 extra or 9 people to actually stay after the polls close and recount to authenticate. And that's what she was saying. She was like, it's not going to be hard. She said it takes people to count with their hands and to verify it against the computer tally. And I was like, girl, I agree. I said, I thought I was tripping. I know it's not hard. So Judge Macabry or whoever he is, the people don't agree with you basically saying that that they don't need to audit again. I think all election votes need to be audited at least once or twice before it actually comes out to the people. And to say that you wouldn't be able to train people to do this is very disrespectful. Just to close off on that conversation, because that's what she said. She was like, what, did he think we're stupid? I was like, exactly. Like, what are you, people ain't slow. All you gotta do is just count with your fingers. So that was some of the things that we talked about in news wrap up, like, but basically the weekly wrap up, and we're going to be doing that. And we went into a few other topics, and we went into Kamala Harris and her damn interview with Fox. Okay, so we're going to break that up. Hopefully I'll be able to break that up between probably tomorrow and Monday. But let's get back to this interview, because we need to figure out what's going on. And he is asking great questions. He is asking great questions. That's what triggered that person off in the bottom talking about, oh, why is he asking her that? Please, whoever that is, don't come on this platform. Okay, don't come over here with that shit, because I want everybody to ask everything. Okay, there we go. I done made me some coffee too, or some tea. All right, let's see. We got to mute it.
Obtaining her interview, she didn't have bodyguards, and I didn't have to go through the police and all of the people to get to her. She was very, very friendly and receptive. Our wonderful guest, the Honorable Trustee of the wonderful village of Dolton. Dolton is a beautiful place, beautiful surroundings. We have Trustee Kiana Belcher here. And we also have our panel. I said what I said, our chief correspondent and our chief contributor, Brother Lee. We're going to bring them on in a couple of seconds. I just want to plug this in right quick. And I wanted to ask this. You're now I think I was going, and I'll come back to the thing that I wanted, but somebody had asked me this. You're now the chairperson on the board for police and fire, and you had gave a little update. I heard a little something. Could you tell us what's going on with your fire department situation? I'm a fireman, but I wanted to know what's going on with House Public Safety and what's going on.
A lot of things are starting to change, which is good, because we have all these court hearings and court dates, but our job is really to oversee the finances and make legislation. And when it gets to the point that we have to start making sure that our committees, because normally each trustee is over a committee, and that committee is the source of how you get the budget completed for those departments and the communications, like a liaison. And the fire department had been going back and forth for a long time with trying to get their contract. This is my first term, so I was not on the board prior to actually the city mayor was on the board. And we had been receiving all of these different emails about why the contract wasn't being pursued and with the arbitrators. So I was able to actually get the contract signed, and it has been enforced because it was 5 years without a contract. So now they actually have a contract until 2027.
And wait. If y'all didn't hear, one of these, who was it? It's so disrespectful. It wasn't them. I think it was like, was it Steve? Not Steve. I meant to say Stan. I know one of them on Henry's side said, "Oh, and those contracts are not valid." I don't know if it was the lawyer. Do y'all remember? But I know right after, because you saw a picture of House sign the contract. It was on her house's page or the trustees page. They signed a contract with the fire department. And then you had Tiffany Henyard, one of her goons, come and say, that's not a valid contract. Do y'all see how deep and conniving she is? That couldn't have just started the day she became mayor. I cannot believe that. These conniving ways were there. You see what I'm saying? And this is what I want us to have on this platform. People who come here, I want you to have discernment. Don't just fall for a person you see, like I said in the slogan, and you fall in love with that, like you infatuated, and then after the honeymoon, you realize that you married to a psychopath. Does that make sense? She has psychopathic tendencies. Hey, just to go to the left, thinking about Henyard, she's crazy.
Okay, so the present contract that was negotiated by, I'm sure yourself and others that are on the board, it is in effect, and these firefighters do have their benefits in order and everything.
That is correct.
All right, we have a question. Can you put that back up there? I said what I said. We just had a quick question. Somebody wanted, y'all don't start no trouble here, but they wanted to ask you a quick question. Okay, and I'm not trying to step on nobody, but they want to know, would Miss Belcher want to run the village of Dolton? I guess assuming that you have aspirations for mayor of some kind. So,
and y'all remember months ago, I said that sitting in my car. I was like, it seemed to me that Belcher wants to run for mayor. This is something going on here. And that was just me getting the idea of what was going on. And at that time, people took offense. They were like, why are you saying that? I said, because I could tell in her tone, something is going on personal with her and Henyard. And I was like, okay, after I did my research, I said, oh, she did make a bid for mayor. And some of that can convolute your thought process. So I'm glad that people went on his platform and asked these questions. It's no disrespect to Belcher. If you feel disrespected, someone's asking you a question, and I know Belcher don't. I don't believe she do. But the audience that do, that's telling me you like to deal with con men. You like to deal with people who manipulate you and give you half of it shucking and jiving. And that's dangerous. Just to let you know, it's dangerous for you and us as a society. Okay.
that's one question.
I do not have aspirations for mayor at this time. I completely support our senior trustee, Jason House, Clean House 2025. I believe that he's going to do a wonderful job. He's a man of integrity, and he has a finance background. And I believe that he is the proper person that will be able to get in and turn this thing around. And I support him 100%. So not at this time.
Well, Well, she said not at this time, so y'all know she could be governor or something, because she don't play. I like a leader don't play with folk, and she has her receipts, and she waved them papers and everything, and brings me to a part of my next little question I want to ask you. These Tahoes, everybody holler about these cars, and when you explain that you paid less for your vehicle versus what they're paying for these other ones. And it's just this fiasco. This is just my part of it. I want to know about this lease. How in the world did this woman get these leases for these fleet vehicles, as we would call them? You can get them anywhere naked, but she got them at this rate. What in the world? How did that happen? And how did that slip past you? And I'm not saying that you didn't look at it, but how did she get into that kind of agreement and y'all didn't know nothing about it?
So originally in September of 2021, we approved for Enterprise, which is the fleet company, to change out some of the vehicles we had for the police department, public works, and fire department. And it was a total of 46 vehicles, which normally they would turn them in, then we would get new vehicles, and that was fine.
Wait, while she's going to explain this, because I'm making me some tea. This is exactly what we released the other day. Okay, so we're going to listen to what she has to say, because I'm thinking that Tiffany is running a car scheme. Now it makes sense, because a while ago I heard Jedediah say this a while ago. He kind of just, he's doing one of his long ranting lives before he got on YouTube. And I was like, a car ring? Because he was trying to take pictures of Kamal Wood plates and stuff and seeing where the money came from. So when it came up from my anonymous tip that it was possibly a connection between Phoenix City and Dolton and the police, and then the anonymous tip mentioned the vehicles, how they got. I was like, hold up, wait! It made me flashback, because then I thought about the arguments and the conversations that Belcher was trying to have in the last 3 trustees meetings, going back to July, when she started asking for the cars and asking about hey, you Keith Freeman. That's why I can't trust him. The question was, and I think that's why Keith Freeman got in trouble too. Right after that live where she asked Keith, where are the cars that were sold? Where's the list? And her and him went back. Y'all can see that video I put up. Her and him went back and forth, and he tried to disrespect, to be all stupid, but he was fucking up. And the mayor had put it on him, like, you need to ask him. She like, I am. And then the next meeting, you had Hinyard yelling from the top of her lungs, talking about, he's fired. He's fired. In my opinion, putting all that together, I think that him and her got into something about that, about the cars, about the Enterprise situation. And Keith possibly was like, I ain't got nothing to do with that. He probably tried to back foot, pussyfoot out of that. And him and Hinyard probably went through it. This is just my assumption, because how it went from Keith Freeman being her right-hand man, and then the next month, he's fired. He's fired. Trustees, y'all emailing each other. You see what I'm saying? All right. So now let's just listen to her talk about these Enterprise deals, and then y'all make her go back to the video I released a couple of days ago, breaking down. Not with the first one where I released, where it was more kind of like, how can I say, circumstantial evidence. I was bringing out more of what has occurred to make me have that mind frame that they may have a car ring, and it is stolen, because if she sold the cars that was purchased via lease with the contract through Dolton and Enterprise, and those cars were sold outside of that, and she made money, she stole, allegedly. But let's finish listening while I get my tea together. Girl, let's go. This is getting good. Shout out to the exclusive interview. And what's his name? I'll be forgetting names fast. Get it together. We'll put him up there. Mac the man. Let's go.
Fine. So when we started seeing the vehicles, we assumed that they were part of the lease. we have a system, which is my viewpoint, where we can go in and start looking at invoices. So when I seen a payment for $2,400, and I went to like, what? Oh, what's this? And I clicked on it, and the lease was attached to the payment, and I'm like, $2,400 for one Tahoe? Wait a minute. So I start digging. I start going to the vendor name and pulling up all of the payments, and I'm like, they put $9,000 down, and they paying $2,400 a month. And from there, went down the rabbit hole of all these that did not come through the prize, came from the vendor. It did not come in front of the board, and they were signed off by the mayor and some department heads, which is allegedly not the appropriate way to enter into an agreement because it did not come in front of the board.
Y'all. Let's
So they
break this down just a little bit before we hear a little more. Do you think that department head was Lacey Lewis? Okay, because you remember he had control over, what do they call it, the forfeitures, the money of the forfeitures and everything that was taken and resold. So also there was another form of income coming in, allegedly, when they said the equity that was involved in the cars that they were trading with Enterprise. I believe those trucks had something to do with what's going on with the trucks in Phoenix. And I do believe that they were doing some lowballing between counties, and just how you had Cook County trying to sell dollar properties and Tiffany get in, and they were doing it from county to county, a type of bidding for county to county. I think they were doing something with the cars and the trucks, because when you look at Phoenix Police Facebook page, they just got really active too, but they have a lot of cars. Their car people, Kamal Woods, a car guy. You need to watch. I'm just kind of like putting stuff together because I know I'm not there, so I can't totally get a good grips. But as I'm starting to pay attention, I have people in my inbox, a bigger picture is coming together. And if we're talking about corruption in the government in Chicago, we need to talk about corruption in the government in Dolton. It's on a level like that. That it is looking kind of Rico-ish. I mean, cars, money laundering, houses. This is just getting out of pocket. But let's finish here with Ms. Belcher got to say while I sip on my tea. I made it.
They just try. I mean, she just went over y'all and just said, "Forget it. I'm going to do what I want to do," and that's just that. How did I mean? And another question I wanted to ask somebody, and I'm going to get to that question. If you can put that question up by Alice again, and I'm going to ask this of the trustee. But there was a check for $500,000 that allegedly, they say, was for the paving of the mayor's mama's house. Now, wait a minute. Now, I'm not crazy. I hope I'm not nuts. That's a whole lot of paving, unless she got the mansion or something, and you go to the woods and come off the road and got to go 3 or 4 miles in or something like that. If that's the kind.
All right. We have Mac Man Morning Show. I want to say love and blessings to you. If you were here from the beginning, I actually gave you a lot of love and respect. I'm not that type of person. Get to know me, Mac, okay? I appreciate everything you did. I appreciate you getting this interview. So if you rewind, that's exactly what I did. I just didn't remember your name now, but I did say Mac the Man, and I won't forget it. So Mac the Man Morning Show is in the comments, and I appreciate you doing this interview and asking those hard questions. That's exactly what I said from the beginning. So thank you so much for letting me reuse it and actually give my commentary. So shout out to you, Mac the Man. Hope you get some more good interviews. Hopefully I can get an interview. I have a few people that I'm kind of looking at, but I like the way you handle it. Okay. So respect to you. Please mind that my service is a little off, guys. Justin Thompson, she has been bragging about you, Mac the man, from the very beginning. How great of a job you are doing. Who is she? Are we talking about Brittany? Brittany Norwood? Why are you using our content, ma'am? Yvonne, one is this called fair use, and this is a political figure. Okay. And I can give my commentary. So that's why I'm using it. I'm not trying to be weird or anything, but I actually going to put the original video at the bottom like I always do and direct people to your page. How about that? Maybe you're going to get some more subscribers. How about working like a team? Okay. How about us working like how other news broadcasts work just to get the information out? How about that? Now I'm sounding like that, Yvonne, because your tone. I'm Grace. I'm GraceLevi. I can love you, but I am going to check you. Come with a little bit of respect, because if you listen from the beginning, I was very respectful. Don't do that. Okay, Miss Yvonne? I love you and respect. That's why I'm doing it, because I have much love for Dolton. I put a lot of blood and sweat and tears in Dolton. I have taken away broadcasts about Dolton. Okay. I feel and I believe that I am an online resident for Dolton. I have put enough hours to do so. That's why. Okay. Funny. I'm just being real. I don't like when people do that. That's don't be like that. Inbox me. Don't be nasty in my comments, because I'm gonna get at you. That's just the way it is. If y'all know Grace Levi, that's why people kind of uncomfortable with me, because you're not gonna come, because he is asking great questions. Let me see what happened.
Where, is this true, or is this just a gossip that people are talking about? Or help us out to understand about that money. And I got this question from our viewer.
So the check was for concrete and repaving. It happened to be on her mother's block, which she uses as her address, but the repavement included paving her mother's driveway, which is on personal
Constituents and people that voted for you that want their streets and sidewalks done too. So she had picks and chooses. That's what I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but that's what people are saying. She had picks and chooses. And $500,000, that's where it got to me. I said, man, and I'd do it for a fraction. I find me some concrete or whatever, but that's just that. We have a question asking, her question is that if any
every second Saturday of the month. We've been doing this since September 2021. And because if anybody watches the meetings, they see that no questions are being answered. What we do for the community is they come on the public works, safety. We then write those questions down, get them to the appropriate department heads and then reach back out to them since they're not getting the answers through the village meeting. Also, if anyone knows that I am on the executive board for the Democratic Committeeman of Thornton Township, so we have a lot of outreach and community events to make sure that people are aware of who's running and also give them background and have them research, because what may be important to one person may not significantly be important to someone else, but encourage them, because the local turnout is always so very low to get out.
Exactly. And I agree with Ms. Belcher. This is what we're supposed to do. Educate people about the candidates. And she's doing a good job. I'm so proud of you, Ms. Belcher. You're doing a great job, because I know some of these questions people try to avoid, and she's going right at it. So let's finish listening. I'm so proud of her.
Out and vote and exercise their right to vote.
But I will say this, I'm gonna have to throw a little jab. Now, y'all know when I did that video about all the candidates that's running in Dolton and Thornton, they did not let me post that in Dolton Politics because somebody got it on lockdown. Now, I ain't gonna say it's Belcher, but I do think it's Dr. Nikita. You know I'm gonna poke with you, Dr. Nikita. I mess with you, but I think they definitely didn't want me to talk about the other candidates. And the most important part, we do need to know that there are other candidates. Just to give y'all a heads up, if y'all look on my community page, I put up Nate Fields. He has an open forum today where he's having people sign up for his petition, because he's petitioning to be the supervisor of Thornton. That's what we need to know. You know what I'm saying? Get in his inbox, start asking him some questions. I told y'all I like Nate, his website and stuff like that. He got a good layout. So hopefully, he interview and I'll be able to bring it to you, or someone else bring it to you. I'm going to give my commentary. Service issues.
All right. Well, let's answer more of our wonderful questions from our viewers, but I'd like to bring in also our chief correspondent, I said what I said, and our chief senior contributor, Brother Lee, if you all have any questions for wonderful guest that has given us this time, you can take this time to do it.
Okay. Well, good morning, Ms. Belcher.
Good morning.
Good morning to everybody on your work and in our chat. I'm glad to be here today. And the question that I have for you is, would you be able to work with the new administration, no matter who it is, because it's a lot of chaos going on at this time. So in case she is reelected, how do you guys proceed to working together?
Oh my God. I'm sorry, she just gave me a heart attack saying that. But that is something that y'all need to think about. There are people who support Henry. Don't get it messed up. Them washing machines and dryers, she gave people really set good in their heart. And she got bid in. I don't know how, but she does. So this is realistic, though. It's a realistic question.
I can work with anybody, but I'm not doing anything illegal. so my thing with that is I hope that Jason House wins. Unfortunately, if someone else was to get in there, I am willing to work with anyone, but you have to be able to do right by the community. The community is expecting us to do right. We represent them. We're the voice for them. So when it comes to legislation, when it comes to finances, when it comes to budgets, as high as our property taxes is, they want the services for what they pay for. So absolutely, I'll be willing to work with anyone as long as they're doing right by the community.
Okay. Now, I did see you on another interview, and I noticed that you guys, you knew right away that it was some red flags before the administration even began. So within saying that, if you knew there were red flags, why wasn't it any why wasn't it any guardrails to pay attention to the things that she was doing? Because you already saw the red flags coming into the administration, because it appears that, like, did the board approve some of the things that she was doing? Because you guys said that you were in such a big deficit. So in the beginning, did you guys like approve what was going on her agenda, or did she just do it or just go rogue right away?
She went rogue right away. But when we first started, the budget was only one vote. The conversation was, so we do have conversations behind the scenes that okay, there are things that we want to implement that the community has been lacking for so long, and we'll be able to put these things in place. We actually had people that, state representatives, senators, that was like, okay, we have all these allocations of funds that would be able to be bought to Dolton. So we were okay with that. I seen somebody had posted about my viewpoint. That system is on.
Stop right there before she go into it. Did you hear what she said? Again, I got to highlight at the beginning. She did see red flags with Tiffany. I knew it. She saw that ticket. But there were also representatives. Again, she keeps saying, Tiffany, how did this girl got these hookups? But she has people in prominent positions that's funding her, that said, hey, okay, if she wins, we're gonna bring this amount of money. That's why she was like, yeah, I got $6 million coming. And she started spending. Tiffany started spending before even the plan was put out there, before anybody even signed the papers. And that was one of the issues. And this actually started, as she said, from the jump. It started on Inauguration Day when they had the party. It started from that party in the 4th of July, and it was a wrap. So I have to second what Ms. Belcher is saying. She is telling the truth. She from the beginning, it went to the left. The whole 3 years, these trustees has been fighting. I'm going to be honest. They have. Tiffany has just been rolling. In the great words of Jedediah, rocking out with her out. And I just have to say that's the best line I ever heard. And it's so funny. That's what she doing, just wilding, don't even care.
When someone has to manually upload the invoices. So the invoices may not come in to 30 to 60 days past when it started, and we vote every month. So there wouldn't be you wouldn't know some of the stuff that's coming in, or you wouldn't see the leases until it's actually uploaded into the system, but the bill may have already came. So yeah, at the beginning, there were some things that were approved and may have been overlooked. But if you see, I started off when she said I turned her back on her the first meeting. I started off saying no, and I'm one vote, so you can go back and look at my voting history. But there was a story that was told about the inauguration when we been paid out of our campaign funds, and we started getting all these bills that was billed to the village of Dolton. I voted no, and that was the start of standing up to say, no, this is not how this goes. This is not what it's supposed to be. Even in that other previous interview, I seen the signs during the campaign, and the signs during the campaign was, this is going to be a dictatorship, not a democracy. But we were in the middle of a campaign. You're too far. You have to move forward, because I have to be the trustee. I need to be the trustee. So I'm going to continue to fight through this to make sure that I represent the people. So there, at the beginning, there were some items that if we could have probably went back now and been like, oh, sorry, I told you we shouldn't have did that, or but it wasn't until 2022 where the significant amount of spending began. The audits didn't come through. So once the audits are not, because if you don't open the book for the audits, then the grants are not going to come through, and they refuse to open the book for audit.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Crazy. And so all of the grants that she said she was going to get, and I remember Belcher saying that one time. She was like, are you going to let them audit so we could get the grant? Are you going to let them audit so we could get the grant? And I don't think she never answered. And they was doing so much crookedness that they thought they were just going to be able just to get a grant without showing their books. Not they, Tiffany. I was laughing at the comment because somebody in his comments, Matt comments, said she act like a 12-year-old with fetal alcohol syndrome. I'm so done. I'm so done with y'all Tiffany banter. But let's keep it going.
And so, like everybody see what's going on television, right? And well, not on TV, but well, I guess on TV because it is on the news and it is in the social media streets. So how do the community feel about everybody knowing what's going on in Dolton? Because it appeared like it's a lot of chaos going on. The last meeting you guys had, you got a lot of things done, and but when she came in, it it was total chaos. You guys, you went through your agenda, you passed this and you passed that, and everything went smooth until she came into the room and kind of like sucked all the air out of the room. And so how do the community feel about how these meetings are going? Like, is the morale really low, and do they have confidence in the administration and with the trustees? Is there any type of confidence that you guys can get things done with the community?
That's a loaded question. I can say that at one point the community was divided. I believe now that so much stuff has come out, the people see what's going on, and a lot of people are just embarrassed. Like you're embarrassed to say you from Dalton. They be like, "What? You down there with that girl?" So it's embarrassing at the least. It's embarrassing, but I believe that the community sees that the trustees are fighting for them. They're not fighting. We're not fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for them. So the level of being involved has grown. The level of people being more conscious of who they place in office is going to be really significant because they see what has happened. And the first thing they say, well, how do we know that the next person is not going to get in and do the same thing? The difference is right now, even with the previous mayor, ordinances are in place and they were followed, even though they might not like that they were followed. This mayor right here, she considered ordinances as suggestions. She like, oh, okay, well, let me know what the consequence is, and nothing is happening. We've been to state's attorney, we've been to attorney general, and it's just like everybody says it takes a while. It takes a while. And even if you see just watching the news, other local officials are being indicted, and it's like started off in 2016, 2018, and it's just not happening now. But the community is the one that suffers.
Wow. Brother Lee?
Well, I would like to say great day. I got a few questions. First, I want to ask you, madam, what experience do you have in accounting and bookkeeping?
I was a CFO for 6 years. I can say that I have a significant amount of financial background, that I am able to manage a budget and for businesses and for the municipality.
So you determine how much experience you have, no one else.
I determine it. I mean, my work speaks for itself.
You just said that. You just said that you determine how much experience you got. You say you have a lot, and that's based on your opinion, right?
Based on my opinion and my work experience, because I work. That's what I do for my full-time job.
What you do? What's your job?
Okay, so full-time job, they rated you A for doing your job the correct way, right?
I like these questions. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to Mac. I like your guess. That's what I'm talking about. He get into it. He like, so are you rating yourself, or is these are the companies that you work for? These are questions. Somebody said, I'm just gonna be messy a little bit. I'm gonna have to bring her up. Trina Downs, you know what she said? Y'all gotta go research this. She said house resume is made up, that the companies don't exist. I have not looked this up, but you see what I'm saying? I'm gonna look into some of that stuff. But he's asking a good question here. He said, are you rating it, or are your actual bosses, your organizations? Let's go. I like this.
I've never surveyed them, but I get bonuses, and when I'm up for reviews, I think that they haven't been anything less than a B.
And our next question I have is, anyone being investigated
B?
besides the mayor?
Girl,
And then,
you talking about a B? Shit, I get an A minus at nursing because I just know why I ain't perfect. But I'll go for an A. Shit, what you done did wrong, girl? Talking about a B. What you did?
administration.
Yes, the village administrator has been indicted. The chief of police has been indicted. And I'm sure probably there'll be some other indictments that may come down. But on those federal subpoenas, none of the trustees that have been fighting against this administration are on there.
Now I'm just gonna give y'all a heads up. Remember, indictment doesn't mean charge. You're not totally charged. You don't like, okay, it's an indictment, but what I mean is that you ain't guilty. Like, they indict you, they take it to the grand jury, they present some things, but you're not really charged. Does that make sense? Tiffany has been in, like, the FBI has subpoenaed her and they want to indict her on federal charges, but she's not indicted. Like, she's not charged with the charge. Does that make sense? I keep interchanging the words. I apologize. She's indicted. Where they're going to do the investigation, they're going to put it up in front of the board and say, hey, this is what we got, da-da-da. Can we move forward with charges? They gave Tiffany a chance. You remember when we did that live where she was supposed to come in federally and bring all that paperwork in, and allegedly she asked for more time. We ain't hear nothing about it. That paperwork was be part of the determination where they're going to charge her. So we're still at the preliminary phases because we want her charged and we want her in court. When the charges come, then the ball going to start rolling. You see what I'm saying? We did get the indictment is nice, but we need them in the courthouse about to get arrested. What are we looking for?
Well, let me say this: an indictment is not a conviction.
Yeah,
that's absolutely correct.
Okay, then an indictment is really an investigation.
See? It's crazy because I didn't even watch this. I said, let me just go live, and because I started watching it, I was like, let's just share with my audience that they got a great interview. I love these people. I fucks with y'all. You see, he's like, that shit ain't a charge, baby. I know he like, I'm not gonna bust your bubble, but we got some more work here to do.
That's what you asked. Interview. Correct.
Okay. So everybody on that board, which you sit on, has no culpability, no accountability for what went on, no responsibility. It's all on that mayor, right? Am I correct?
That's not true.
So what is
true? Because at the end of the day, it's a collaboration. It should be the board approves, and then the mayor is the executor. The village administrator is the person that runs the day-to-day operation. So the board of trustees don't run the day-to-day operation.
So what I'm trying to get at, the board is just as responsible as the mayor for what's going on in town, right?
No, because we don't enter any contracts. We don't have any credit cards or any of that. So no.
So you have no responsibility toward anything that goes on in that town.
Yes,
we do. We have a responsibility to make sure that the ordinances are enforced and executed. But you can't. What you're going to do? Hold somebody neck to make them do right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that you don't have any accountability for what went on as far as those invoices that come in. I know they take 30 to 60 days when they come in, but they're not submitted to you until you see the end of nothing about that. Those invoices, those bills that has to be paid until you actually see the invoices cross your desk.
That is correct.
And that's the procedure that you guys go about on that board. You wait for the invoices to come in before you act on anything.
What is wrong with you?
That is correct. The proper way, if it was something that we voted on, there should be an RFP that would go out. If the RFP goes out, which is the proposal, then we would know the companies that submitted RFPs for the bid. But that has not been done. So we do not see the invoices until they come on the warrant list. That's absolutely correct.
So you have a paid position. That board, that's a paid position. Am I Am I correct on that?
Yes, it's a part-time position and it's paid. That's correct.
Okay. And you were elected, not appointed. Am I correct?
That is absolutely correct. Correct.
And your term is up, just like the mayor's at the same time. Am I correct?
Yes, my term is, but the board is split 3 and 3. 3 trustees was up. Now 3 trustees are up again.
And I want to ask this question. Are you running for re-election or are you just going to bow out?
I'm running for re-election. I have to continue
What's
to
wrong?
make sure that
But I had to
the
follow up
citizens of Dolton.
with the person who was like, "What's wrong with this guy?" I can follow like, "Yeah, what is wrong with him? You don't know? You don't know?"
I represent it to the ability that I feel as a resident. So yes, I am.
Oh, okay. So you say you're running because you feel that you're the only one that can run that position the way it should be done in your eyes, right?
That's not what I said because I'm not the only one. We are a team. So I want to. I'm not the only one, but I feel like from me as Trustee Kiana Belcher, I am able to bring uh, accountability and transparency as much as I can for myself. But the board that I currently work with 3 other trustees, we work together collaboratively to make sure that the community is getting the best that we can provide right now.
Brother Lee, hold your question right quick. I'm gonna do this a little early. We're gonna go to our second break real quick.
Back the man was like, "All right, we got to take a break because Lee, we're gonna have to stop him because he doing a little bit too much." No, Lee did good. He was asking some good questions. Let me let this play in the background so we can fast forward through his break. Shout out to Mac the Man Morning Show. This is a great interview. And I want to say shout out to Belcher. I know I'm real because I'll be talking about Belcher faces and her face comes straight through. How she like, and she's doing good, especially with Lee because he started going to the left. Somebody, and you think that you're the only one that can run for this position. She was like, I didn't say that. And that's what happens. People take something and twist it and distort it. And you have to be emotionally intelligent to use it. Hold on, let's see if this still going.
I'm from the UK. We even got folks, our listeners over in Alaska that are listening. Everybody that's listening from Dolton.
Emotional intelligence to deal with people such as like Lee, such as and we don't do it to offend you. Well, some people do because he sounded like he was going to the left just a little bit, but that's just the position that you're in as a police figure. So I give it to Belcher. She didn't make none of those Belcher faces. She over there like answering questions. Girl, I'm so proud of you. Not saying she can't answer questions because she always can, but I tell you, I can read people. I can read their spirits. I can read what they're thinking, and I'll be reading her mind. I'm like, girl, I don't even have to act the Holy Spirit to tell me nothing. It's on your damn face. So she did really.
Show. I'm Jan.
You know what this is? It's about freedom of speech and being uncensored, no matter where you're at, as long as we're respecting each other. So if you're down to get some shot glasses, wine glasses, and we also have cups with the design that you guys picked out, the one that had the most votes. That is the people protesting freedom. It's in our shop page that's available. So please hit the like button. Continue to support YouTube creators such as me, such as Mac. Up and coming content creators. We have a new vibe. We have a new spin. I know y'all looking for more things to watch, especially on YouTube. Because other day I was going through like, damn, ain't nothing on. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be making more content. Shout out to Belcher as well. You're doing amazing. Let's see, can we get through this? And we're not gonna watch the whole thing. What I'm gonna do is probably do another 20 minutes, and I'm gonna put the link at the bottom, and you guys go to his page and watch the rest. But I did want to get into it a little bit because I was like, oh, these are questions. I love it.
Man, I do. This chat is lit. People are listening in. They got their coffee. They done stepped the dog and everything else trying to get to the TV because they know that we have the Honorable Kiana Belcher from the great village of Dolton, Illinois, on with us. And I tell you, it is a wonderful day. I'd like to thank all of our supporters. I'd like to say good morning to Miss Diane Black, who is going to be our.
I do think the dude Lee said he was in UK. Don't discredit him just because he in UK, because we need people to help. We need a think tank, and that's what I said. Sometimes you have to have people outside of the glass looking into the glass from a different glass that has a different surroundings, different ethnicity, different background, and they can bring new ideas over. This is one thing I do want to say. This is talking from the Black community perspective, Black business community. I've noticed, just being a businesswoman, and I go into these think tanks with all my Black business owners. As soon as I start talking about, other things that other nations are doing, like that are successful in their businesses and how they approach it, they're like, "Oh, we don't want to hear how they doing it. We gotta do it like this." I'm like, listen. We have to be diverse, and we have to be in competition with the people who are actually our competition. We can't be in competition with ourselves in our own little world. Talking about this is how it works, because this is our own little town. It's a big ass world, and they have practices or procedures or ways to approach things that we actually could utilize to help our system. So I'm just saying that because you did ask was Lee in UK, and I think that's what he said. Even if he is or is he not, my thing is collective unity. A collective unity is what's going to get us further than us being stuck in a box. A lot of people who stayed in their town, they don't go far. Their mind is not expansive. But once you get out and you meet people and you talk to different people, you start seeing the world is bigger. The world becomes your oyster. Your dreams gets bigger. Your critical thinking get bigger. That's why we have these platforms. And that's why I tell people outside of Dolton as well, if you can come in just like me, come help, things like that, come and truly help with some good ideas, because some things that we think about, the Dolton residents may not see it from that perspective because they're in their own town. So shout out to Lee, because his ass was asking them crazy questions, but he tried it. He tried it. Good.
Next, Congresswoman from the 1st Congressional District, Diane she's out there on the campaign trail. You still can support her. We need help here in Mississippi, Ms. Belcher. And like I was trying to tell people that be happy to be in a place where you can go vote early. We can't do that here. We got restrictions and IDs, and people are being purged off the rolls, but you ought to be glad where you are. And I'm asking you right now to go out to your county courthouses. And
while he's talking, I just want to send a shout out to a few people that's in the audience again. Mac the man, love you, appreciate you. Hit his Cash App up. Also go over to his page to check out his commentary. Peter Northup, shout out to you. Vonnie, shout out to you. Yvonne, shout out to you, because my first name is Siobhan. We got a lot in common, okay, girl? Okay, don't take offense if I said anything like but you get to know GraceLevi. Pretty direct. Love you, no problem. I appreciate you being there. MB Burke, shout out to you also. Crook County, breaking down. Big ups, GraceLevi. Thank you so much. Love and blessings to you guys who's checking me out on this beautiful Sabbath and checking out this content. We're going to do another 20 minutes, and I'm going to tell you, oh, yeah, hey, he was over there too. Chris Gonzalez. How you feel about Chris Gonzalez? Yeah, I don't have to talk about Chris Gonzalez, but she probably don't say too much because he's on. Hey, that's crazy. See how God is? That is God is. Crook County. Let's go.
Thing else. And at this time, the Mac man has officially endorsed Trustee Kiana Belcher for her return back to the Board of Trustees. Let me tell you why I'm doing this, and I hope that she will accept it. It takes a lot of know-how. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of determination to work for people. Everybody is different. Everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to be pleased with you. But if you can help somebody, not just because you're on the show this morning, are we doing this? We did our research and we have found that your community involvement is so great that people are talking about you. Your neighbors, your friends and associates that I have spoken to speak very, very highly of you. And not to mention your great work in the Order of the Eastern Stars, an international community organization that helps so many. And because of that fact, and because I see that you balances, you believe in what you're doing, I'd like for you to, we extend our endorsement to you, and in any way that we can help you in the coming future, because 2025 is coming. Don't join or nothing like that, though, but we have listeners everywhere that lives in Illinois, live in your region.
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate
from them, 1 or 2 more things from them, and then we're gonna head off this live because I do gotta. This is a working weekend for me, but I found this very interesting, and I love the questions that they were asking. I hope you keep your platform like this, Mac, where it's freedom to be, freedom to speak, and even though you endorse Ms. Belcher, that you don't go with the group mentality and just kind of like don't listen to nobody else, don't want to hear what nobody else have to say. That's just some of the things that we kind of push on this page, where we like, all right, we good, we support you, but we're gonna listen to everybody. You see what I'm saying? Because we try to get that work. We trying to thrive here. We're not just trying to survive and just listen to one person and be stuck in a box, girl. So I endorse everybody who's under God. I'm just gonna tell you, me, I'm independent. The only person I'm voting for this year is Yahshua. Shout out to him.
I'm honored to even receive the endorsement. I hope that you see that I will continue to fight for my community. I will continue to be a community servant. I am a public servant. I'm not a self-servant. Yeah. And I want to continue to do as much as I can for my community. So thank you so much for that endorsement.
That's right. So, when the president send that, Kamala Harris sends that money down there to help y'all out to get out your mess, and the committee women of Thornton Township, if I'm right, you're on that committee, you have things to say. It's good to have folks that's on your side, and you can go to them and ask them for help, and you being a part of them. And I know that you, along with your team and along with the future mayor, I would like to talk to Jason, if you can talk to him, and let's have him come on and let him some heat. And your brother Lee is he's my analyst, and he will dissect things, and I'm proud of all of our staff here and everything. Now, I said what I said, had a question, but Brother Lee, I want you to continue your line of question, please. Yes, sir, I want you to continue with yours.
More questions. I just directed to the sister over there. To the best of your knowledge, does anyone on your board have a criminal record?
To the best of my knowledge,
yes.
No. Are you speaking of the mayor also?
It includes everybody on that board and everybody in administration.
There are probably people that have misdemeanors on there, but that does not keep them out of running for office.
So is anyone on your board, just your board, under investigation by law enforcement for any reason inside that administration?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's all the questions I have.
Yes.
All right. I wanted to let me say.
His question was: is anybody on your board under investigation? Is that what he asked? Please, Mac the man, did he just say that? And she said yes. I mean, I know the FBI investigating everybody. Is that what he just said? Also, he asked great questions. I don't care. I like you, Lee. He was like, so anybody got a background, anything? And he's like, yeah. She like a misdemeanor. Now, I will tell you this, guys. In the state of Georgia, that's what I'm saying. I'm downgrading. And sometimes misdemeanors can be stalking. Okay, sometimes misdemeanors, just like it was a misdemeanor against a public official before he was out here in Georgia. And this young lady has basically a lawsuit against Fannie Willis, the prosecutor out here, for not doing her job against this stalker. And they lessened the charge for the stalker so he can be a public official and run. And it was considered a misdemeanor. But when you listen to the story, that jigger is crazy. He was stalking her, scary crazy. So we do have to be kind of like, okay, misdemeanor, all right, and go look into these people. Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. This is a 1.5 hour interview. It's another half an hour. I want you guys to go to his page and watch yourself. Okay, leave comments down there, hit the like button, hear what the rest. I'm gonna watch this on my own while I get settled because I gotta go to work. But I do want to say this was an amazing interview, and I am so proud of Mr. Lee and Mac. I'm proud of y'all because y'all allowed those questions to come out that we really need to ask. We should not be afraid. Excuse me, looking like a hobo this morning, y'all. I ain't get ready. I just said bumpy. I'm in the bed streaming. I said we streaming today. Let me take my little thing off so y'all can see GraceLevi and looking too crazy. But I do want to sign off by saying I love you guys and I appreciate you guys being with me today. If I had any technical difficulties, please bear with me. Sometimes I'm going to be on the road. I want to say a shout out again to Mac. Thank you for interviewing them and allowing me to interview as well. Thank you for everybody being in the comments. Please check out some of the other content that I have released in the last week or so, especially related to the cars. What we were talking about, is it a possible car scam going on in Dolton, as well as what we went into, a little bit of Kamal Woods, the Kamala Harris interview. We're just going to be releasing more and more. Continue to support small content creators because we coming up. We got a different voice, a different mindset. You know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of people on YouTube is going to expand their horizons when they let the little guy like me and Mac, because I like Mac. I fucks with you. I like that. See, I really like a platform where you could just ask them questions and people don't be having the spirit of offense. So again, I keep saying it because y'all know if I like it, I like it. So I appreciate it. I did subscribe to his page, and most likely we're going to be back on Tuesday for the Dolton board meeting, but I will be releasing something on Monday night, most likely. Okay. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here with GraceLevi. Let's put this on. Let's put our favorite girl on the screen while we do all of this, talking about without her name. You won't go viral without me. Let's put her on the screen and go out with a bang like we always do.
Every election. So now, because they can't beat me, they got to do this smear campaign to convince public opinion that I'm bad for them.
So you said 2 elections. You were first elected in 2021?
No, 2013 was my...
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke...
Every election. So now, because they can't beat me, they got to do this smear campaign to convince public opinion that I'm bad for them.
So you said 2 elections. You were first elected in 2021?
No, 2013 was my first election for trustee. I was a trustee. I sat where they are.
Right.
That's why I know the law.
Council.
Yes.
Elected mayor 2021.
Yes.
Terms 4 years?
Yes.
Okay. Plans of running for re-election?
I'm running for both my seats. And I'm going to win them.
So, and when is the election for Thornton Township?
2025.
So those elections at the same time?
They are.
Bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Okay, next.
A bullshit.
I could not be here breathing and be comfortable if I was really as bad as they was making it. You know, nobody could be around me. So for me to be this calm, I must have some kind of inner peace. And my inner peace is knowing that once everybody take the time to really see what type of person I am, you'd be surprised that I stuck around this long. I have to make the life that I do live as happy as I can and try to do the best with what I have. You know, live the best life I can live, be as happy as I can be. Nothing is perfect for anybody. I don't know.
Boys, I swear, I think I figured it out. You know why they don't want us redneck brothers and sisters and the hood brothers and sisters getting along? You know why? Because we'd be unstoppable. I'm telling you right now, we would shut shit down.
Yeah, Jamaicans, true Israelites. We love to see the wake up in our place. Because we, remember, it's not Jesus gonna come back, it's Yeshua. True Israelites, yard people.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.